These are the 4 steps of the accreditation process. NACCE intended each step to build on each other to help programs better prepare and meet the requirements. The process encourages success as it moves forward. In the second step of pursuing NACCE accreditation, the program collects formal evidence to show how it meets NACCE's 10 early learning program standards. Programs will submit formal application and associated fee to commit the program to an accreditation timeline. Staff will begin assembling the program's 4 sources of evidence, which are intended to demonstrate comprehensive program understanding and implementation of the program standards. In Step 2, programs must demonstrate that they meet all of the eligibility requirements in order to be accepted as an applicant for NACCE accreditation. Eligibility requirements must be maintained throughout the NACCE accreditation process and the program's 5-year accreditation term. The eligibility requirements are: be center or school-based. The program facility may not serve as the residence of any person associated with the program unless approved as a center or school by the program's licensing or regulatory body. Serving children between the ages of 0 to 8. Be located in the United States or its territories, unless affiliated with the U.S. Department of Defense schools and child development centers or programs. Be regulated by the appropriate licensing or regulatory body. And be willing to meet and demonstrate the program consistently meets each of the NACCE Early Learning Program standards and assessment items. Step 2 is the formal entry into the NACCE accreditation process. Programs will compile evidence of how the program meets the NACCE standards using the self-assessment materials to prepare for candidacy. The tasks for this program during this step are to complete and submit the application, to select a due date for submission of candidacy materials, to document evidence that all standards are met by completing a formal self-assessment, and prepare to meet all site visit requirements. The new accreditation model has 4 sources of evidence. Building on the reflective work of self-study, programs begin a formal, improvement-focused self-assessment process that involves compiling specific sources of evidence to demonstrate how a program meets each of the program standards. Evidence includes portfolio evidence and observable evidence. Programs are able to develop and create their portfolios as they see fit to their program. Examples of types of portfolios are binders, bins, and digital portfolios. NACCE does not currently license or endorse any specific digital portfolio company, but programs are able to use softwares like PowerPoint or Google Docs to create their own. A class portfolio is defined as a source of evidence that is a collection of written and photographic evidence that shows how specific accreditation assessment items are met in individual groups or classrooms. The program portfolio is defined as a source of evidence that is a collection of written and photographic evidence that shows how a program meets specific accreditation items. The program portfolio includes evidence of policies and practices that apply to an entire program. In this assessment item example, it is important to note the formatting of the assessment item, 1C6, and the clear language of the item, which lends itself to a much better understanding of what is expected from programs for evidence. A recommended best practice is when photographs are used as evidence, add a brief descriptive caption that can remove any ambiguity or confusion as to why the photo is applicable. In this assessment item example, it has clear instructions on how the evidence should be formatted, in this case with highlighting and labeling and clear numbers of amount of evidence to include. Some evidence examples that may be included in the program portfolio would be a program's operating budget, written program procedures, and the program curriculum. NACCE provides programs with the class and program portfolio tools. Programs are encouraged to use these tools to make sure the program is including everything needed for the class portfolios and program portfolio evaluations. These are the same tools that the assessors will have on the day of the visit. The color coding on the tools are: items marked in red are required, items marked in yellow are always assessed items.